let's switch our focus away from the World Cup briefly, because there's been some huge breaking news at the World Cup today. But from a Premier League perspective, and that is that Cristiano Ronaldo and Man United, they've announced that he is leaving by mutual agreement, and United thanked him for his immense contribution. In their statement, they went on to say that, mentioned Eric Ten Hag, which I thought was very important, and how the side are going to work together with him for success. And Ronaldo, in his statement, he come out and said, "I love Manchester United and I love the fans. That will never, ever change. However, I feel like this is the right time for me to seek a new challenge." So, Nick Mendola, I'm going to come to you straight away. We expected this after the explosive interview he gave, which was not sanctioned by the club. He wanted this. He wanted to have a new club in January, right? This is what he wanted. So now he's a free agent. What are your thoughts on this? Because there's reports coming out that Man United actually didn't owe him anything, and he basically forego close to $20 million. So he's off the wage bill. Eric Ten Hag's won the battle. He now has control of the dressing room completely. So this is a big win for Eric Ten Hag. But what do we make of how this is all unfolded and kind of finished for Ronaldo at Manchester United?
Well, you use the phrase seeking another challenge. Yeah, he sought the you-know-what out of this. He did not stop seeking. Even before the announcement, I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, he posted the watch. Did you see this? He posted a new watch he had that was designed around the header he scored against United for Real Madrid. So, I mean, he has covered himself in Ronaldo, as he always does, and full credit to him for getting out of his deal. I think he has lined himself up to make the entire month of January all about him. And he loves that, doesn't he?
He really does. And just before Portugal kick off at the World Cup as well. So he's kind of got it all sorted. Now he's going to focus on the World Cup, Andy. But where next? I mean, where could he actually go? Because we're seeing, again, Sporting Lisbon, maybe a move to MLS, maybe a move to Saudi Arabia, Bayern Munich, PSG, even Chelsea's name's getting chucked into the mix among some other Italian teams. I mean, now that there are no transfer fees around him, and, maybe he's, thinking, I just want to play in the Champions League. I mean, does that kind of sway where he goes next? And if you're a club looking to add him, it's quite risky the way he's been acting recently, isn't it?
I think it's risky for a lot of reasons. For the way that he's acted and the way he conducted himself through this entire ordeal, for his age and the productivity that he still has left, for what it would cost the next club. I don't know who's going to be out there calling. Obviously, we're not privy to any information of that sort, but if you think about the level that he thinks of a club he should be at right now versus the level of clubs that were or were not, in the case of reality, interested in him even back in the summer, when it was clear that he could be available, and not really for a big transfer fee either. It's not as if that was a hurdle for clubs to get over. And so I don't know who's going to come for him. I don't know that it matters at this point, because I don't think at the level that we're talking about, I don't think that's where he exists as a player anymore, at least not in the club game, and at least not in a way that he's going to be able to impact every single game. And so I think for all intents and purposes, this is probably the end of Ronaldo's club career on a world scale, where everybody is paying attention to his every move and his every goal. I just don't think it's going to be the same reality for him going forward.
Yeah, the way it's ended is just, it's very sour, right? How this is all played out. I mean, you look over this second spell at United, he scored 27 goals in 54 games in all competitions. So that is, the famous goal every other game ratio. Not bad for him, not quite as good as where he's been elsewhere. But it started off pretty well last season. I mean, he scored a lot of goals. Then obviously towards the end of the season, it fell apart. Wanted to move on. United didn't want to let him. Wasn't in Eric Ten Hag's plans. Kicked off. Showed his petulant side throughout the last few months, and then basically forces through a move by going at everybody at the club, including the manager, on a unsanctioned interview, which was only going to end this way. So he's got what he wanted. Man United's fans, I still think will see him as a club legend. I think they'll kind of try and forget about this last few months and think about all the great moments he had. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see where he lands. And he loves the limelight. So it wouldn't surprise me if he turned up in the Premier League somewhere at another club, at another giant. Looking at Chelsea, maybe. I don't think that's the right fit for them. But sometimes the managers don't select these kind of deals, right? It's the ownership and people above them. So wherever he goes, it's going to be headline news. So we'll find out and we'll let you know over at Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com in the coming days, weeks, and months. Because Ronaldo, he's going somewhere. He's a free agent. Let's see where he ends up. But his second spell at United is over in a pretty sour fashion, as we said.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.